Well, hello from D Street, 207 D Street, pocket full of dreams. Apparently work is not finished. I've cleaned the house. A guest left this morning and another one's coming tomorrow. So I'm here on a Sunday afternoon, March the 13th, and it's kind of windy, kind of breezy here. But other than that, it's a beautiful day. Cool breeze, sun's shining, and it's Kelly's fault. He reminded me of part of my dream, and that is that I wanted to put a garden at the house. I didn't necessarily forget it, but I just didn't do it. Anyway, he mentioned it, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grow me a garden. So I called a friend of mine who lives here in Whitesboro, and she has a beautiful, huge garden, in-ground garden, like on the ground. And so I knew she had a tractor, and I didn't think she or her husband would be able to till it, but somebody tills hers. So I called her and asked her opinion about, did she know anybody that could till it? She told me that her stepson would be able to do it. So for $35. So I said, hot dog, are you kidding me? Of course. So anyway, a couple of weeks went by, I never heard from her. The garden didn't get tilled. I came out here and staked it out to where I wanted it, the measurements I wanted. And so she called me one day, and she's almost in tears, poor thing, and said, I'm sorry, Jeannie, he's not going to be able to do it. He's too busy. And I said, gosh, Margenie, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. I'll just try to find somebody else. So I did. I put on Facebook and the Whitesboro Facebook page. If anybody's interested, I'd like to hire somebody to till my garden. Well, I got a couple of calls, but they were like $300 plus to do it. And I said, well, it's not even worth it for me to do that. I mean, it's not that important. But by that time, I was pretty much like dedicated to the idea. So I kept thinking about it and finally decided, okay, I'm just going to till it myself. I'm going to rent a tiller at Home Depot and come up here and do it myself. Well, God was watching after me, obviously, because the weekend before I was going to come up here and try to do that, like a crazy person, forgetting how old I am, Margenie called me back and said that, she said it was a Saturday, and we were on our way to my sister-in-law's mom's funeral. And in the car, and Margenie calls me and said, Jeannie, I hope you don't mind. My stepson's on his way over there to till that garden right now. And I said, are you kidding me? I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. So let me show you this garden out here. So I put it where I thought I remembered my grandfather's garden being, and I don't know exactly if it's in the right place, but this is where I remember it. Anyway, so turn around. Here's the garden. It's about 14 by 20. And I'm not very good at, it's not square. And he didn't make it square. He did exactly on what my stakes were set out to do. So it's like a whoppy jawed. So that's okay. But it's such good soil. It's really good soil. It's black and it's got some clay in it for sure, but it's not terrible. It's funny because down here on this end, the north end, it's a little more, wait, is that the north end? Yeah, it's a little more clay than the south end. And so that makes me wonder if possibly I didn't go far enough to the south with my garden. Anyway, so it looks great. Down here on the very end, the tiller must have really collected the grass and the roots and things, because that's where the majority of them are, right here in that corner. But really the rest of this, it's not got really any roots in it at all. And I've been out here today like I'm so crazy. I like hoed that, and then I hoed the next one. I did like 3 rows, but the third row doesn't look so great because I'm tired. So I don't even know if it's that necessary to do that to start the garden, because down here on this end, it's really good soil and it doesn't have any of the roots in it or anything. It's just ready to plant. So But I figure it can't hurt it to hoe it up a little bit and kind of get any, if there are any extra roots, to get them up so they can die. But Bob remembered, maybe a few siblings of mine, if anybody's talking to me, if you remember where the garden is, Bob said that one time my mom had him till a garden out here. It was very small. I remember when he did it. And I thought it was like right behind these trees here. And he told me that my mom told him that she wanted to put the garden where the hen house used to be. And I have no clue about that. But anyway, I might should have put it there. I might should have listened to my husband. I usually end up being a lot better when I listen to him. But maybe he told me that after I staked it out. I don't remember. But anyway, that may be the garden, over the original garden over there. And so I don't know. So if any of you siblings remember where the garden used to be, I ought to go next door. He used to live here. I mean, he was a little boy or a kid when my grandparents were here, so he might remember. I should ask him. Anyway, there's nothing really been going on at the house so much. Hey, here's a memory I have of, really the only memory I have of the garden. I remember we were up here one time. I probably wasn't more than like 7 or 8 years old. And I remember being in my grandmother's kitchen, and it was just, I remember it being just very light and bright and happy, sunny day. And my mom went out to the garden and pulled up some mustard leaves. No, she didn't pull them up. She pulled out some mustard leaves, some mustard leaves. And she went up to the house and made her a mustard sandwich with just bread and mayonnaise and mustard leaves. And I ate some, and I remembered it being good. I could almost taste it, really, even right now. But I remember my mom just seemed like that made her happy to eat that mustard sandwich. So that memory just stuck in my mind. But that's really the only memory I have of a garden here. And I kind of have a vision of it being here, but I'm probably wrong because I know I have kind of a weird memory. But sometimes I don't remember things right. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh, I bet you can't hear me because this wind. I need a new roof, and I'm studying about if I should buy a new roof. I can't rely on insurance, even if I have a hailstorm, because stupid me, I made that claim, I don't know, about a year ago, and there were only a couple of shingles missing at that point, but I don't even know if you can see. There's actually several shingles missing. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know what makes a shingle. Are they the really long pieces? In that case, there may only be 4 or 5 missing. But either way, there's some shingles missing. And so only on this side, they're not missing on the other side. So even if a hailstorm came and tore up my roof, I'm being told that by my roofer and the insurance company that I couldn't really make a claim because I'd already made that claim and there was already damage. So that's frustrating to me. But anyway, so I'm thinking about just spending the money, getting it done. And so anyway, I think that's it for today. So maybe I can give you some updates on my garden as time goes on, as I get it planted. Not exactly sure what I'm going to plant yet. Tomatoes for sure. If I can find some kind of good black-eyed peas, I want to plant those. Okra, squash. I'll probably plant some squash, even though I don't have a whole lot of luck with squash because of squash bugs. But I may try it. And I'm going to have to plant enough for the birds and the rabbits and the squirrels and all that, I guess. And maybe neighbors will come. And I'm wondering about what the guests are going to think about the garden, if they'll come pick from it. If I have a good crop, I'll offer it to them and say, go pick some if you want. Anyway, that's it. So, 207 D Street, pocket full of dreams. It's happening. Bye.